Just like that, we're at it again. It's been shit, man, maybe 3 weeks since I've done a live. So it's been a little while between being out of town, doing some picks, and then getting sick and work and all that. I'll tell you what, 3 weeks has gone by. It seems like fast and slow all at the same time. But it's good to be back, and tonight is going to be one of those ease back into it a little bit, kind of have some fun. Clearly, you could see through the or by the thumbnail that tonight's live was going to be extremely serious. So no, tonight's just a kickback. You guys can grab a pour, whatever you've got. If anybody wants to jump on it at any point, I'll drop the little link in the description here in a little bit. And yeah, tonight's just a fun night. I don't really have anything planned. Wanted to kind of bust out a few things that I've been sipping on lately. It's hard to get away from all the picks just because you're getting them and then you want to try them and make sure they're good for you guys and all of that. So it does get to be quite a bit. I know it sounds like a boo-hoo type of thing, but yeah, when you start getting all these picks and doing all of them, and unfortunately this time around, we ended up getting, man, it was probably four or five, like all at one time. It just kind of how it worked out, unfortunately. So it's not something we try to really plan or anything like that. Of course, we want to be able to space them out more for you guys than have them kind of drop the way they have. So let me go back to the beginning here real quick and say hi to a few people in the chat. So Kitty was first in. DC, my man, who is mostly responsible for that thumbnail that everybody saw tonight. So we can, Jamie, how's it going, bud? Oh, this guy somehow somehow worked his way into the chat. So as far as asking just about anything, where was that? Where did he have it? We're gonna be giving the old Braves a little run for their money this year. You just wait and see there, bud. TK, how's it going, buddy? My man Cam, how's it going? Ladies and gentlemen, this just in: Napoleon Dynamite has just sued the Hawk. I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about that. I think we'll be. I'm more worried about Bob Ross than anything. So, Roy, how's it going? Good to see you, bud. I know we were chatting before, and finally was able to get home quick and get things kind of put together and all of that. So let's see what else we got here. Benny, how's it going? Bourbon, how's it going, bud? As always, there he is. JG, good to see you, brother. Johnny, my man, how are you? What else we got here? Top Dog, always good to see you, brother. Thanks for jumping in tonight. What else we got here? Hey, Matt, good to see you. Thanks for joining tonight. Appreciate that. What else we got? The Turkmeister, where's the boss? Is she lurking somewhere? She got to keep wraps on you, that's for sure. So good to see you, brother. Hopefully you and Katie are doing really well. It's been too long. Hopefully get a chance to see you guys this summer. That'd be awesome. Hi, Karen. How's it going? Good to see you as always. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Northwest Bourbon. Cheers, bud. Kelsey, my man. Hey, hopefully you're enjoying the Buzzards Roost that we were chatting about the other day. They're doing some fun things. I did actually, when you and I were chatting the other day, I kind of went and had a little bit of their barrel strength one. So nice bourbon. The Buzzards Roost. I know it's a funny name, but it's a good one. OS, good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate that. Yeah, so we're working on the we'll kind of get into that in a little bit. So what you guys see here really are all of our most recent picks, ones that haven't, a couple that haven't even released yet, but we've got them. Thomas, how's it going, brother? Good to see you. Nate, good to see you as always. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks. Last Thursday, I did the pick of the Jack Daniels, which was, I was fortunately starting to feel a little bit better. I wasn't fully there, but I was able to power through and do that. So, Timmy, good to see you, brother. Timmy, good to see you, brother. Cincinnati, good to see you. Unipoke, how's it going, brother? Chris, what else we got? The big bald one, the big bald beautiful one. How's it going, Toddy? Good to see you, bud. Okay, so anyway, as I think as you guys can see, hey Dwayne, good to see you. Let me go through these things real quick. Mark, good to see you, brother. What's up, Dart? Good to see you. We'll have to get together this summer. I'll get a little. I'm gonna try to get a nice little meetup and stuff, at least for kind of Wisconsin. Maybe I don't know if anybody wants to come up from Illinois or Iowa. We'll get some things put together. But other things kind of going on as well too. So, um, how's it going, David? Good to see you, brother. Richie, my man, always good to see you. If I missed anybody, I apologize. How's it going, Paul? There she is. There's the boss. Always good to see Katie. Thanks for jumping in. Okay. So as you guys can see, there's a couple picks that are up here that have not been released. I guess just to give you guys a quick little update on the Mash and Journey stuff before we kind of just dive into any other stuff or random questions from you guys. It's Ask the Hawk just about anything. For the most part, I'll answer it. So as you guys can see, so coming, I talked to Jason a little bit today. We're trying to get things formulated as to what's coming, when, all of that. A lot of stuff, unfortunately, kind of hit us all at one time. It just so happened to be, it just happened to be that way. It wasn't by intention at all. So I think coming really soon, and it's been almost, I think, 9 or 10 months since we did the picks of the Peerless. So those are basically ready. I know we've been saying things like that. Hey, Chris, good to see you, bud. So we're thinking within roughly a week. I don't know if it's going to be this week. We still have to get them in the system through Keg and Bottle and then get them kind of out to the masses. So I don't know if we'll be able to get them to you guys this week, but I would almost be willing to bet that we should be able to have the Peerless ready to go and able to ship next week. So that again will be both the bourbon and the rye. And yeah, it's been months. I mean, honestly, I don't even remember what the profiles of them anymore are. It's been so long, but we're really looking forward to that. I know there haven't been a lot of Peerless picks, at least recently. Maybe there were a few several months ago, but I haven't seen really much or anything from Peerless. I think, well, we know why they had as much of an issue with bottling and getting things out was because of exactly their bottle. They ran into a big issue with production of the bottles and being able to get those done and shipped and everything. I mean, you can imagine with all of the logistics with that bottle, how difficult that was. I'm sure that put them in a heck of a bind. I'm sure. So anyway, it put a little delay or kind of a little yeah, pretty much a big delay on that. That thing should have been out months ago, but anyway, it didn't. And again, those should be, if everything goes as planned, like we were talking about, they should be the Peerless, the bourbon and rye should be ready to go next week. And then we've got, I don't know what order yet, but we've got the Down Home, the American Double Oak whiskey. We've got that coming real soon. And then this one, which we really haven't talked much about either, the High West, which was finished in brandy barrels. So those are the up and coming ones. As most of you know, we just did maybe 3 weeks ago now. We did the Four Roses single barrel, which can't wait to get that out to you guys. That'll be a great one. We had a great time there. The Starlight, we'll have 2 coming from them. So a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I know a lot of you guys in here are part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. So we try to keep you up to date with as much stuff going on and what's coming and all of that. So anyway, that's a little update on that front. And actually, I've got in my glass right now a little bit of the Down Home, the American Whiskey Double Oak. So really kind of enjoying that. I think this one, as it's opened up, it's really gotten much more chocolatey, a little more citrus. It's kind of like a chocolate smoke, butter pecan type of profile. So it's kind of opened up really, really nicely. And I've had this now for, yeah, probably about 3 weeks. I think I got it right before we did the pick at Four Roses. So yeah, about 3 weeks or so. So anyway, looking forward to getting that one out to you guys as well. So um all right. So yeah, so Todd was kind of in on the whole thing as well. So he was able to get some bottles, and it did. It really kind of turned out nicely, better now that it's even opened up a little bit more. I think it's gotten, I'll say, like a little bit more, like there's a thickness, a little more oil characteristics to it, which really sounds nice. Yeah, I like how it's really kind of developed. And it does come from a distillery. It's kind of unnamed, but it rhymes with Schmim Meme, if that helps anybody. And so you do get a slight bit of that, kind of, nutty characteristic, but it's not overwhelming, I'll say. So how's it going, Waxter? Good to see you, brother. So yeah, so hey, Timmy. Hey Pigsley, how's it going, bud? So let's see. Oh yeah, real quick, if anyone hasn't subscribed to Fifth Quarter Tailgate, give them a call. It's kind of a cool. I mean, it's for me. I mean, bourbon or whiskey and sports. I mean, it's two things that I absolutely love. So cool channel. So I'd love to come on and kind of chew the fat with you sometime. So. What else? So, all right, what do you guys have for me? What's everyone sipping on tonight? Always interested. I mean, Tuesday night. I mean, Tuesdays, it's better than Monday, but it's not a whole hell of a lot better. We're not that close to the weekend yet, but always interested to hear what everyone is, what's sipping on. So, all right, I'm gonna have a little bit more of the down home, and then I'll switch over to, I don't know. So here's one thing. So I don't know if you guys are in on, if whoever has had the Sagamore, if you guys have had the three Sagamitos, someone please let I don't know how in the world there's still some left, but there are. I'll drop a link here in a little bit. But if you've not, I don't know, it's become very quickly one of my favorite ryes. It is so good. So it's absolutely. Thomas kind of nailed this one. I mean, I don't know how it's still available. I'll drop a link here in a little bit just for anyone who's interested in picking it up. We've opened it up outside of Patreon, so you guys can have a shot at those. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. They probably frown upon drinking on the job. So cool. Three amigos, three Sagamitos. I love it. I mean, I'll probably have some of that here in a few minutes. So, the Sagamore picks blows the Sagamore 8-year out of there. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. So, I mean, that one is just, I don't know what it is about it, how it developed and everything. It's just such a cool blend. The cool part about Sagamore is it's not a true single barrel in the sense of it's just from a single barrel. Basically, their concept is to blend two mash bills and then put those together, and then that's what you get to choose from. So you do have the components of two barrels being blended and then figuring out that profile. So you can get some slight differences, but it's a 95.5 and like a 53% rye mash bill put together. So it was what we ended up with, and it's absolutely delicious. All right, so since this is Ask Me Anything, and that's a question, the Foregate, yes. So I didn't really mean to turn this thing into a Mash and Journey commercial, by the way, but it seems to be kind of sounding like that. But so for you guys, anyway, we have this year, the Foregate has really kind of developed nicely. So we were able to get two picks this year. One is going to be the 9-year MGP toasted rye, like we did last year. Now it's just a year older. And the kicker is we were one of the fortunate ones to be given a 10-year MGP bourbon, toasted bourbon that we're going to be able to offer up to the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. So there were only, I think, doing 4 of those. So I know I think Minnick was doing 1, I believe, or something else. He was given a few options. So anyway, there's four barrels of the 10-year toasted MGP bourbon and the 9-year toasted rye. So those will be picks that will be coming probably sometime this summer. We don't know exactly when yet, but we're looking forward to it. And I was happy when we were told we were given one of the 10-year MGP toasted. I mean, there's not a whole lot of 10-year MGP around anymore, period. So to get an opportunity to get that to you guys, we jumped at that. So love the Dancing Goat. They have some cool things. We're going to be working on something there as well. Hopefully we'll be able to get you this. I mean, I had this 100% corn whiskey that was finished in a, what was it? Spanish oak. I couldn't even believe whatever it was that Spanish oak barrel did to that corn whiskey was, it was short of amazing. It was just absolutely incredible. So, if your hash is right. Yes. Yeah. What do we got here? All right. What do you got here? Yeah, so that's their own stuff. So Tom, yeah, they just released that bottle and bond maybe a couple months ago. So yeah, they're doing some cool things. They're starting to kind of get their own juice flowing and all of that. So that was kind of nice to see them put out something like that. So that was cool. Yeah, we were pretty pumped, Robert, to be able to have the opportunity to get that. Not a whole lot of those out there anymore. This summer, their Four Gates also releasing just a straight 14-year MGP that they're going to be releasing with their standard 10-year MGP bottling. So I've said it to a million people before. If anyone wants older whiskey, you better start buying the stuff now. I mean, if you can get anything that has any bit of age to it for at or around a couple $100, it may quickly become a very good, I don't want to say deal, but in today's day and age of whiskey, and the fact that there's just the age stuff is going away altogether, I think it's time to start, picking as much of that stuff up as you can and enjoying that, because it's quickly going to get to the point where we start to see maybe in another year or two more of what we think of as aged could be in that 6 or 7 year range, not double digits like we can still potentially get at times. So I think if you guys can get aged whiskey nowadays, and I'll even go as far as saying maybe if you can get some of the aged Dickel that they're not necessarily running through that Lincoln County process, it's night and day. You're getting more of a truer bourbon profile on that older stuff that's not run through that Lincoln County process, similar to like what you might get through either MGP or older Kentucky stock, things like that. But I think it's time for people to start picking up some of this older stuff. So, all right, what do you got, Adam? Hey, Scott, just getting in. Looks like a few nice pours in front of you. Yeah. So I'm working on it. So right now I've got a little bit of the down home, the 8-year American whiskey, the double oak that we've got. So what do we got here? Yeah. So Popham just said, Troy just said, that's it. Like we did actually have a chance to try that when we were down in Kentucky. Doing the Four Roses picks. We were down in Louisville, and we met up with some of the Four Gate guys, and then we also went over to Justin's House of Bourbon and over to well, we were just on our way out and we saw Mark and Sherry, so we stopped in there for a minute. We got to try their newest or newer releases, and they were the Dickel, and you just would almost have very little idea that it was Dickel. Maybe if you sipped on it a little bit longer, but man, I'll tell you what they do is just sometimes it just seems like straight like magic. I don't know what it is, but some of the stuff they do is crazy. So, Cheech, how's it going, brother? Good to see you. Hopefully you and Jen are doing well. Looks like you guys have been having a good old time lately, so that's awesome to see. So let's see what else we got. Yeah, Dickel face. What do we got, Tom? Interesting thought. Age stuff will fall off. So, what's the example of high age other than obvious life? I don't even think that. I mean, I think. Well, I mean, so here's what I'll say. So this is one of those things where I guess what I'll say as far as age stuff. If you can get these whiskeys at barrel strength that are maybe I'll say 9, but I'd like to think of like double digits as some of those maybe richer, more complex type of whiskeys. If you can get the double digit whiskeys, bourbons, ryes, whatever it may be, for at or around $200, I think you're going to be doing okay. So, things like this. So, I mean, this is where, so Eagle Rare 10, again, you're talking about 90 proof, it's watered down. Russell's 10, another 90 proofer. So, as good as those are, you're still never going to get the richness and complexity from those as you would a 10-year, barrel proof, MGP, other Kentucky, whether it's Barton or wherever it's coming from, you're just not going to, duplicate that. So if you can find the barrel strength 10-year plus whiskeys, I'd say buy them. That'd be talking with some of the guys in the industry, they know how difficult it is to get some of these and to source these barrels. And we've, just through conversation, I've been told there's just not much of that stuff around at all anymore to even go and buy. So anyway, that's that. So what else we got here? Yeah, it looked like Troy was having a good old time. I know they had the New Orleans Bourbon Fest this past weekend, so it looked like everybody was having a really, really good time with that. So, all right, what am I going to pour next? A little bit of that. Let's try this. This is another one we've got coming. I don't know when it's going to be, but before too much longer. So, again, the American High West comes at 102 proof, aged for 1 year in brandy barrels. So another kind of nice one. This will actually have a really good price point. High West is usually pretty nice from that standpoint. So that'll be a fun one to kind of release, because I think it's gonna, again, it'll be a nice price point, give everybody a little bit of a break. I know these things can get pricey, and like I said before, our intention is never to release all of these things as close as they are. It's just, unfortunately, it's happened. So my man Griff, how's it going, brother? Good to see you. Hey, if anyone has not joined cigarclub.com, what are you waiting for? Get yourself over there and become a member. Griff and the guys over there are doing an incredible job of really helping people out and making everyone feel like family, and they're great at taking care of people. So I think everybody will really appreciate that as a I don't even want to say cigar of the month club. It's more than that, but it's online retailer. So what do you got, Adam? So I had a great time with the Jack Daniels pick last week. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things. I mean, we always want to try to get people, part of these picks, and that's part of the fun of it, is getting you guys involved in those things. So what else we got here? All right, what do you got, Robert? If double digit age is getting slim, will source companies buy them now, say at 7 years? And so that's funny that you say. So I was talking with a whiskey brand owner the other day, and it's exactly that. There are a lot of these guys are now buying, if they can, stuff that's in that 6, 7 year ish range, maybe 5, and they're going to sit on this stuff. They're going to keep that stock. Let go what they've got now, which is the older stuff, and let that stuff age. And I'll tell you what, even buying stuff that's 5, 6, 7 years old has now crept up in price. In talking with everybody, the whole whiskey game is changing. So, I wouldn't be very surprised at all. Outside of the big guys, like this is where it gets very tough to compare like a Wild Turkey or any of those kind of guys that are producing what they produce. Buffalo Trace, all of that. With like an old Carter or Foregate, they're whole completely different levels, and you have to really understand why that is. I mean, buying these whiskeys nowadays has gotten pretty darn expensive. So it's and we all know that cost is going to get passed on to us. And even with a 3-tier system, by the time we pay $200, you have to remember they've got their cost, but they sell it to the distributor. The distributor goes to the liquor store. So there's all these prices. So by the time they sell it to the distributor, it's $100. Then it goes to they take their cut, goes to the liquor store, they mark their stuff up, and now you've got a bottle that was sold for 100 starting out, now being sold for 200 or 225. So anytime, brother. I also plan on doing a kind of a nice little recap video with the cigars that we received for March. So hopefully it won't be too late, but I'm trying to get that worked in here pretty soon as well. So what else we got here? No, I did not hear that. So did you hear this week they're discontinuing Bell Mead whiskey like altogether? Like there will be no more Bell Mead? That's interesting. If I had not seen or heard that at all, that's well, it's kind of a bummer. I mean, for me, that was kind of one of their, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say like it seemed like premium, but it kind of did. And I don't know, maybe they're going to focus on much more of their own brand stuff now. So what else we got here? Nice. Oh boy. This guy, I'll tell you, sweetheart. Oh boy. Anyway, no more. Okay. Oh, it's going to be distillery only. Interesting. Okay. All right. Wonder what some of the thought process behind that is. So, oh, okay. So that's what they're going to do. They're just going to kind of swap out some labels and all of that, but continue with the same stuff. All right. Interesting. I can see that. I mean, with that being their distillery, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. So, Adam, so we're looking at possibly not this coming week, but more than likely the following week. So again, not next week, but probably the following week is when the down home will be released. What's up, Marty? Good to see you, brother. Hey, I'll get that other stuff over to you as well. So I've just completely slipped my mind too. So yeah, it's going to be their own distillate too. So all right, well that's fine. I mean, you can see what a lot of these guys are doing. I mean, rather than the sourcing stuff, it's just gotten to the point now where buying some of these barrels are getting absolutely crazy. So, you know what, Whack? I mean, I'm trying to do something possibly around here. I know Jason and I had talked about trying to maybe do something this summer, and it's still maybe on the table down in like Bardstown or whatever. It's a little more centrally located, but we'll keep you posted. I know for sure I'll probably end up doing something here in Wisconsin, and for anybody in the surrounding states, whoever wants to be part of that, I'd love for you guys to come. So, what else we got here? Yeah, incredible whiskey right there. Was able to pick up batches 15 and 17 from a good friend of the Stag Junior and stuff the other day. Not always a huge fan of it, but for what I was able to get them for and what I was able to do, I couldn't pass it up. So I don't blame you. So it's another fantastic pick that that Foregate did. So they've got some pretty incredible ones coming out. And I know this summer they actually have just a standard across the board 10-year MGP that they're going to bottle, and I think that's still going to be right around that $200 price point. For me, it's kind of a no-brainer. I don't want to say a deal, but in today's day and age, I think for a 10-year MGP at cast strength, you're just not going to find much of that stuff anymore. So it's a buy for me. So absolutely love it. Actually, you know what? Thanks for Black Star. Thanks for that. I'm gonna post this right now. I don't even know how many of them are left. I can't imagine there's many, but for anybody who wants one or a couple of the 3 Sagamitos from Sagamore, absolutely incredible whiskey. For me, it's been one of my favorite ryes that I've had in a long time. I mean, I know I'm a little biased, of course, but I'll tell you what, it's a really fantastic. And there's some of the whiskey that's in there really is approaching almost 8 years versus the 7 year. Just hadn't quite met the 8-year mark, but you've got almost 8-year rise in there. So, all right, Robert just dropped it. So if anyone wants the 3 Sagamitos. So, all right, Chris, what do you got here? So, oh man, good question. Well, I will say, just coming off of the Four Roses, we all had a great time there. That really turned out to be a great time. Like all of us outside of Darrell originally chose, and again, I'll bust as you know what's until the end of time, but we all chose basically the I think it was barrel number 6, I think, or number 9. I forget what it was. But we all chose it except him. So we ended up doing a blind between the two. And then he was still adamant about the one that he chose was the other pick. And it ended up being hands down. We all ended up choosing the same barrel, and it stuck. We ended up with a really nice, I think it was 10 years, 2 months, and it was an OESK. And it was just, I think as far as I'm concerned, it was hands down the best one that we had all day. So, all right, what do you got here? How is Sagamore rye done? Oh yeah, it's a fantastic everyday rye. I mean, it's again, I love really what Sagamore is doing. They're doing some fantastic things as well. But that double oak rye, as a lot of people will tell you, is just a really nice, easy sipping. Lots of heavy fruits on it, which is nice. So, what's up, Cool Running? Good to see you, brother. How's it going, Paulie? 3 Sagamitos is really good, but I feel that way about all Sag. Yeah, I mean, really, Sagamore. I mean, their stuff is, again, we all know that it's sourced right now outside of their bottle and bond that they did this year, which is cool. It's fun to see a little bit of a mixture and all of that. But yeah, Sagamore's doing some fantastic things, and that's why with our release that we did with this, I thought for sure this would have been one of the ones that was gone like very soon, and it somehow has lingered, and I don't know exactly why that is. It just did a little bit, and the more people that try it are like, how in the world are they still available? So yeah, all right, Whack, all right, let me know. I'll be really interested. I mean, I appreciate your palate and all of that. I'll be very interested to hear what you think of it. I know it's going to be a neck pour and all that, and I think it'll probably develop a little bit more, but I hope you enjoy that. So thanks, Cheech. Appreciate that, buddy. And if anybody has not subscribed to Fifth Quarter Tailgate, please do so. What do you got here? Pop them. Honestly, guys, if the Sagamore product, I promise you will not. It is. I mean, I'm not even just trying to like, talk about it because we did it. It's such a great whiskey, period, that I want it to get its due right. I mean, it's a really, really nice rye whiskey. So, all right, what else we got here? Yeah, we had a pretty good yield on that one. I think it was like 200 and some bottles that were available. I don't know how many. Last time I checked, I think it was less than 20, I think at this point. So, that sounds good, Robert. I could totally get behind that. So, all right, Timmy, what do you got? Sorry, missed, but anywhere on the yeah. So talked about that early on. That Tim should be next week. So that's what we've been told, and that should happen at this point. So that'll be both the bourbon and the rye. So we'll have both of those available to the patrons. I don't know what the bottle yield was on either one, but we should have a fair amount of those, and hopefully we'll be able to spread it out. That's one thing that I always like, is when we're able to have a couple of picks at least at one time of the same brand. It's fun to be able to get more bottles out to more people. I mean, by all means, we would love to have more picks. Like, I guess just as an example, like the other night when we did the Jack Daniel's barrel proof bourbon pick, we were on one of them. It was split. I mean, it was basically, what was it? 3-2. There was 5 of us doing it. So yeah, 3 and 2 is 5, math. And so, yeah, we ended up with barrel 11. Then we kind of went to work. We talked to Shem through Keg and Bottle. He kind of banged the drum for us to see what, or if it was even possible. Brett knows this, whether or not we could get the second barrel to offer up. And Jack Daniel's really came through big time. They didn't have to do it at all for us, but they did give us the second barrel. So now we'll have 2 of the Jack Daniel's barrel proofs. We don't know the final yield on overall bottle count or what the full proofs are going to be, but one was like, at the time of the tasting, was like right around 128, and the other one was like 131. So very, very similar to, or very close to each other, but both fantastic. It ended up working out really well. I know when we do these tastings, it can't always be, perfect all the time. There's going to be sometimes a little bit of disappointment in not getting the one that you necessarily want, but it's the way these selections go sometimes. So thanks, Robert. Appreciate that. Just learned that there is a Wisconsin old fashioned. Oh yeah, how do you make yours? So ours is simple. I mean, the difference with Wisconsin is it'll always be brandy, generally like a Corbel or something. We in this state consume an awful lot of brandy. So yeah, that's really kind of the difference. They'll muddle things, but they'll use just their bitters mix and all that other good stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the Wisconsin style old fashioned. So if that makes any sense. What else we got here? Yeah, these little kind of fun, like, little hangouts are always a good time. Hopefully you guys kind of appreciate some of these things, or you're okay with doing these once in a while. But yeah, we were that Paul. That's just the way it goes when you're doing these picks, whether it's in person or not. It happens where you end up having to go with the consensus. It doesn't always work out in one particular way, and you end up having to settle. Now, again, I say settle, but a lot of times when you're down to 1 or 2, you're splitting hairs on these two, and there was just something that a couple of us were looking for that was a little different than the others. But it ended up in the end working out really well with, fortunately, a great brand in being able to kind of do something with Jack Daniels and getting a barrel proof bourbon. So that was pretty awesome. So, Weller Special 200 or Maker's Cast Strength 40. Oh, like, I mean, if you're talking about the special reserve, I mean, that's Tom, not even close. I mean, the Maker's Cast Strength, I think for a cast strength bourbon nowadays, nice weeded bourbon, maybe around that, 6-7 year old range. I think it's a great value for $40. I have no problem with the Maker's Cast Strength at all. I did a little head to head not even long ago against the Weller 107, and it was a heck of a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I'll tell you that. So, yeah, Adriana, that was we were super pumped to get that. So, and as you're very aware of, we'll be getting you on the Knob Creek as soon as we get it. Yeah, I'll tell you, Buffalo Trace, they're really tough to get anything from. I'll tell you that. It's just, I don't know what it is about it, but yeah, like Troy said, do not overpay for it. I mean, if it's $40 for the special reserve, that's max. Don't pay more than that. I mean, it's just an average everyday sipping kind of, weeded bourbon. There's just nothing overly special about it. So, yeah, all these channels that Cheech is putting up there, make sure you go and subscribe to these guys. I know Troy is very close to 1,000 if you haven't gotten there already. So I'm probably a little bit behind. I've been trying to read these things a little bit more. All right, Kelsey, what do you got here? The most odd experience. Well, I mean, as far as kind of odd, I mean, the one disappointing thing, honestly, was when we did the Elijah Craig barrel proof. It was just, they stuck us in a corner with 3 barrels and they said, choose one of these. If none of them are any good, this is what you get. You don't get any more. And it was just very impersonable. There was just, I mean, outside of being able to get a great bourbon at the end, prior to that, it was not looking very good and nobody was really having the best of times. So, I mean, the Elijah Craig barrel proof pick there was nothing special about it. As excited as we were to do it, it really kind of fell pretty darn flat. So, all right, what do you got, Matt? What is the American Prairie bourbon finished in? So that's going to be brandy, and it's aged for about 1 year. It's a nice little finish. Again, 101 proof, not going to blow you away, but the finish, what the brandy did to that, I think they balanced really well with that. That'll be coming down the pike a little bit. So, feels like, yeah. So we were told it's a little shy of 8 years, so it still had to go with the 7. But yeah, love the balance of the two are nice between the 55 or the 95.5 and the 53% rye blended together. I think it allowed for the spice and the sweetness and all of that to kind of mingle really well. I'll be interested to see maybe in a week or so. Shoot me a message and let me know what you think, if it's kind of changed for you a little bit. For me, it did a little bit more. I think it's kind of feels a little richer at this point. So. All right, what else we got here? Yeah, we try. I mean, hey, Tom, I mean, as you'll see, I mean, it's a great community, and most of everybody that's in here is going to do whatever they can to help anybody else. Young, good to see you, brother. Always nice to see you. Appreciate that. Appreciate you being in here. Absolutely. Oh, what else we got here? The ranch. Good to see you, Trev. Good to see you, brother. What else? I think I'm kind of catching up here a little bit. 904. What are the chances in the next 15 or 20 minutes we can get Popham to 1,000? How cool would that be? thousand's a really big milestone. So, do what you can. He's been doing a really good job with all of his videos, and well, I mean, everybody does. I mean, it's a great community. Absolutely love it. You guys are tremendous people. So, what do we got here, Tom? All right, so we're actually working on a pick with Barrel at this point. We've kind of had to pump the brakes, honestly, a little bit, just to let some of this stuff that we've done, some picks, kind of get through, and then kind of start hammering. So I'll kind of let the cat out of the bag here. So I'm not going to name who it's with, but we will be doing at some point a bourbon that's going to be finished in a honey cask, and it is true honey cask, not a flavored one. And so we've got that, but a lot of good things. Let me bring on one of my main man right here. So
hey,
how's it going, brother? Thanks for jumping in. I know you're on tour out there, aren't you?
yeah, this is my little tour this week, to going out and working a little bit. So we're doing the show live from a hotel tonight. So
that's what you're doing. That's okay, yeah, man. The things you got to do. Well, yeah, tonight's a big night for you guys. I mean, like we were chatting before, man, 5 years, that's a long time to do anything and be in this game. That's pretty darn impressive. So congrats.
Thanks. Yeah, 5 years, and we went back and looked at some of the old clips we're going to show tonight, and man, we were bad. We were really bad. So ignorance is bliss in this game, because you don't realize it until you go back and you look at. Not that we're great now, but I'll tell you, it was it was like, wow.
It's all a learning. It's all a learning experience. And I think every single one of us that does these things, and you look back to some of your early ones, it's funny. I mean, it's fun to go back and watch those, because you're just like, and at the time you really think you're pretty solid. Like you've got this. Like, I think we're doing okay. And then 5 years later, you look back, you're like, man, I had no idea what the hell I was doing at all, which is awesome. No. So, but
it'll be fun. We'll definitely be poking a little bit of fun at ourselves tonight, which is it's all part of the game, right?
Yeah. But so we got about 13 minutes, and then Todd and Andy, they'll be doing their things at 2:10:90. So you'll have to run over there and check them out.
Well, you'll have to hop on and say hello if you can. But I'll tell you, one of the we're going to show a clip at some point of the first time Todd tried Old Granddad, and he was not a whiskey drinker. The 114, and it was priceless. I mean, he's like, you like this? You drink this? Like, he's come a long way in his bourbon journey, so to speak. So
it's funny. It's funny that you say that. He's gone from like being lit up by the 114 to now being like totally whiskey bougie.
He is, yeah, top shelf Todd now. Now, nothing. If it's under $100, he dips his nose out. He doesn't want it anymore. So he's come quite some way, but
it's so funny. So what are you sipping on in that? Are you in a hotel or are you at home or where?
I'm in a hotel tonight.
You are, okay. Okay.
So I didn't come unarmed. I brought some goodies. So Todd and I were trying to decide what we wanted to sip tonight, and I said, why don't we just do some of our favorite just finished whiskeys to sip on, just some. So let's see. I will tell you what is good that I've have you had this? Yeah. You like it?
I really like it. And you can let the cat out of the bag as to like what it is, but let me ask you this before you say like what it is and people ask, my question to you would be, I don't think, would you have known what that was prior to tasting it?
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I talked to Todd about that. And in a roundabout kind of funny way too, because all the notes that you would want to pull from that you would get from the beer version are there, but in a million years you wouldn't have said that's what I'm drinking. That's what's finished, which is I think is part of what makes this so good, because it's very different from some of the others finished in beer barrels too, which is really neat. So
we didn't have any idea when we first tasted it that was basically 10-year Dickel. But I'll tell you, and mean, you guys probably really appreciate this as well, but I love the chocolate maltiness that you get from it. Like that really kind of comes nice on the finish, like that lingering malty,
And
stout.
the nose it's very present there on the nose too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because people, they love or hated the 5 stouted mash, like or 5 malted. I keep saying Woodford's Reserve. I think Jason was split on it, like he's grown on it, but a lot of people hated it. I liked it, but the nose was weird. It was like a dusty Play-Doh-y kind of nose, but you got chocolate on the palate. This is just chocolate all over the place, which is a lot of fun. A little bit of caramel and vanilla, so it's cool. You're a single malt fan too, right?
Yeah, I don't mind some of them. I mean, I'm not a huge malted barley guy, but what a nice like stout finish does, or even like I like as far as beer, like I like a Dunkel, like I like that maltiness like in a beer, but there's something I don't like about it as much like in a scotch or whatever, but I like what that does when you finish like a whiskey in a barrel like that. So
I've been seeing the praises of this, and you can see I have nothing left. I'm going to kill this tonight. This is the Old Line American Single Malt and Port finish.
Oh, haven't had it.
It's a store pick that I found. There's still a few left. I absolutely love it. It's one of the best I've had this year, and it's really, really good. So I'm sipping on that and a few other little. I got some oddballs here that I brought with me.
Good. Well, Finnish whiskeys are always something that's fun to explore. I mean, it's always something different and interesting. A little watershed. Okay, cool.
In a Chino barrel would finish, which is really
interesting.
Very. So if you like that chocolatey kind of presence in a, so we'll be just playing around with some Finnish ones tonight.
Yeah, good.
Just kind of having fun with it, but so drink a little bit and poking fun at ourselves, and I got a text you earlier. It's almost like life without parole now. I'm stuck with Todd. Like I can't get rid of it.
Yeah, that's once you kind of like go through the whole 5-year process, and you get like really good at it, and you're like, man, I don't know if I really need the wingman anymore, but you're still kind of stuck with them. It's just like, I mean, it's like, Maverick and Iceman. It's like,
that's right.
It's just the way it goes,
The very first couple times, he literally had to say, "Please, let you do this. This will be fun." I'm like, "There's no way in hell I'm doing this YouTube thing." Yeah. So there he is.
It's not like you can just like goose them and like launch them into like the top of a fire plane and like eliminate them all together. So you're just gonna have to stick with the big bald beauty, I guess, at this point.
The part of the rocket that helps get you off the ground. Just kind of
look at this. Look at it. Now he's mad that he's like the wingman, where he probably wants to be. He wants to be like the leader, and you're the wingman. Is probably where we probably upset him at this point. So whether or not Todd will be part of your show tonight because he's so upset, it seems like, I don't know if that'll be the case. So you might get solo time tonight a little bit.
We'll see. I told him eventually John Bon Jovi went solo. So you know what? It might be time to cut the cord. We'll see.
You could be Bon Jovi tonight. This could be your moment.
Fifth quarter goes, Todd, you're definitely Goose. Great.
Totally Goose. Oh,
Jesus. I love it.
Oh, here he is. No, he's real mad. He is the show. He's the show.
He's salty. That's okay. Poor Todd.
He is. That's
okay. I could not do it without him. I've known him 40 years now, too long. So
it's all in good fun, man. When you can bust someone's balls and it doesn't offend them or piss them off, either they're just willing to tolerate your shit, or you've been friends with them so long that they're just immune to the whole damn thing at this point.
No, that is Todd and I. We have enough stories to fill a book, so it makes it fun if you like, If you like the person you're working with, it makes it more fun, because it's hard to do. It's we think about it sometimes. If we were solo, not to be funny, but you can do videos on your own time. You can edit on your own times. We're also at the mercy of each other's schedules and young kids, and so it's so you got to be flexible, and you got to enjoy doing what you're doing. So they're worst partners,
and it really helps when you've got enough of a relationship where you can work off each other and it's natural, there's nothing forced about it. you can see, and I'm sure between your guys bantering back and forth, whoever it is that's doing all the editing, I'm sure has a fair amount of editing work to do at times.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. So I do the editing gig, and Todd Todd does a lot of the outreach and stuff like that. So it kind of helps balance each other out. But I'll tell you, Scott, I was looking through some old footage, and we have so much stuff like just in Dropbox. There's enough B-roll and outtakes and stuff like that we could fill a couple hours just of. I was laughing at some of the stuff. I was like, I'll never get to it, but it's just outtakes upon outtakes. So
you guys always have so much stuff in your lives. Like I always wonder, like, how much shit do you guys have banked? It must be an awful lot of stuff. So
we have a lot. So there's Maverick.
Yeah, speaking of Goose and Iceman, and speaking of Top Gun, did everybody see it's coming out like May 25th or 26th? They just released the trailer today that they're finally releasing Top Gun 2.
Does it look? I mean, are any of the original people in it? Like
So Iceman is in it. Obviously, Maverick is there, but everybody, I think, outside of that, for the most part, are now like the kids of like Goose, like Goose's kids in it supposedly, and now he's a fighter. I don't know who it was, but it was. I'm like, I'm just hoping to God that it's not like super cheesy. I want it to be so good that I don't know, but
I'll tell you, stuff like Cobra Kai will give me some hope that you can actually do something like that and do it okay, because that had the potential to be a train wreck cheese disaster. And I love watching that. I mean, it's a guilty pleasure now watching, Johnny and Daniel like still go at it in their 40s. It's fun. So
I thought when I first saw that it was coming out, I'm like, this has train wreck written all over. There's no way, like, who wants to watch a couple of middle-aged guys like go at it? Like, this just does not seem like it's going to be good. But I would agree, it's a hell of a lot better than I thought it was. I enjoyed as well. So, but
there's hope yet. So we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, Scotty, I gotta hop so I can prep.
Hey, appreciate you jumping on for a few minutes. Congrats on 5 years. If you guys are in, I'll still be set up. Maybe I'll pop in for a couple of minutes and just say hi with you guys.
I'll shoot you a link over. I'll email it to you.
All right, sounds good. Have a good show tonight. Thanks for jumping in.
Man. Good to see you.
See you, bud. You too. There you have it. So after this, in a couple of minutes, you guys can head over and check out Todd and Andy 21090. Two good dudes doing a really good thing over there. So it's kind of fun to see their transition and everything from a little more of the beer stuff to now beer and a lot of the whiskey related stuff. So kind of cool to see the overlap there. So let me do this. I'm going to post one more time before we go. This will be the link to the Sagamore. So hopefully there's still some. I don't even know if there's any left at this point anymore, but hopefully there will be a few left. So, all right, what do you guys have? So there's a few more minutes left. What's everyone got for the Hawk? I'm here to answer your questions. Actually, did that thing go through? Yeah, I think so. I think it posted. I had one thing that showed an error, but what's up, David? Good to see you. I don't know if I have their. I don't think I've got Todd and Andy's. Yeah, if anyone has the link for 21090, can someone drop that in the chat real quick, and you guys can head over and check out their stuff. They're celebrating 5 years tonight. So don't go crazy about it. Nowadays, it's probably in that 50, 60 is probably a little pricey for me. If you can find it for 50, I mean, I bought a couple of them when they were $40, but $50 probably okay, but don't go super crazy over it. It's just average. I mean, it's still there, still the sourced Heaven Hill stuff that they had. So thanks, appreciate that. All right, what else we got? Curbs, good to see you, brother. Haven't seen you in a while. Always good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. So let's see. Let me recap here things real quick before you guys head over and check out Todd and Andy's stuff. Let's see. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Any upcoming barrel picks you're looking forward to in particular? A lot of things that are up here right now. You'll see. Um, so I guess anything specifically. Well, we've got the Peerless that's coming up next week. Super excited for obviously the Four Roses. Huge Four Roses fan. That'll be down the road. Probably coming before too much longer. Honestly, is going to be the Old Forester, our barrel proof one. We did that back in, was it October, I think. So that's got to be coming. I mean, Jesus, like any time now. So I'm hoping we can get through a few of these before we launch that. But yeah, so those are some good ones, and we've Nicholas, man, we got a lot of stuff going. So DC, yep, I got a new lower back tattoo, so I'll show that probably next week sometime. I think you guys will appreciate my new lower back tattoo coming out really, really well. A lot of different parts, a lot of artwork and stuff back there. So need that to be pretty fancy, of course. So every time we see him, we ask him. I would imagine that when they do them, we'll probably be able to get on one. So Paul, what do you got here? So hey, any idea how long until the ASW? They're out. A lot of people are starting to get theirs. I think tomorrow, or people already have them. So Paul, you should be getting something. If you haven't, send them an email and find out what's going on. All right. If anyone for 1 second thinks I'm serious about having a lower back tattoo, no, I don't have a lower back tattoo at all. Like that's not happening. I have no tattoos. So, yeah. So Jeffrey, there. Yes. So when we pick them, they continue to age it basically until they dump it. We think when we were talking with Jackie when we did the Old Forester pick, she thought what we did, the pick that we did, would probably get even better, round out a little bit more. So we're excited for that one. So yeah, I mean, with that, I mean, it could have been aged another. Let's see, October, November, December, January, February. Yeah, I mean, it could be aged another 4 or 5 months on top of it. So we're hoping that it remains at least as good, if not better, than when we tasted it there. So been visiting everyone in the community. Yeah, thanks, man. It's just the way everybody. That same thing with the chat and everything right now. It's just a great bunch of people. It's pretty awesome. So parking here, Mr. Friggin' Funny, man, I swear to God. Lower back tattoo, how embarrassing would that be? Jesus, it's the full-on cheek. My God, I couldn't even imagine a hawk hanger. Yeah, I don't think so. No, definitely not that. Definitely not that. Man, why in God's earth would anybody want to do that? I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty good. That's courtesy of DC putting that thumbnail together. So, big win. So that'll probably be roughly 2 weeks. We should have the down home available for patrons. So I'll drop this in a little shameless plug here real quick. If anybody is not part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club and you want to get in on what we've got going on, here is one way to do so. So let's see, what do we got? Big Vic, Flying Hawk, yeah, exactly. What else we got here? What's up, JR? Good to see you, brother. What's up, Scott? What have you been sipping on? Oh man, the good things in the barrel. I've got batch 32. I've actually got to do a review of that one before too much longer. So, yeah. So we had that when we were down. I had that with me when we were down doing the Four Roses pick. I brought one along. Let some people try that one. So, but it's gotten even better than it was, I think, when we were able to try that. So, How about the if you're talking about the Found North, we actually got some samples from them yesterday to kind of work on a few different finishings that they've got. I'll let you guys know they've got one that's finished in, and they've got some aged Canadian rye that are it's crazy. They've got some that are finished in a number 4 char, tawny port, and a sherry. So we're gonna work on something with Found North to get you guys a cool pick at some point. So, but that's one thing we're always trying to do for you guys is get you something fun, different, unique, all of that. So, all right, what do you got, Roy? I haven't done much hunting with the picks coming. I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. We don't want to ever have too many of these things coming at one time. We know it's expensive and costly and all of that, but this time the way things fell, it was just the way it was, unfortunately, and we never tried to plan it like this. So a few. I've got quite a few. I'm a huge fan. I love the different batches and what they do and the time, the quality, everything that they do is just they're great guys, all of that. So yeah, huge fan of Foregate as many people already know. So all right, guys. Hey, I appreciate everybody hanging out for a while tonight. I know this was a lot of rambling on. If anybody has anything for me, uh, fire away before we kind of head out. But yeah, the plan is, I think, going forward to try to do as many Tuesday nights as possible. I know one in April, kind of towards the end, I won't be able to do it because I've got some work stuff that I'll not be able um, to commit to a Tuesday night. But other than that, should be good to go. I think for a lot of the other Tuesday nights, unless some work thing pops up. So hey, I appreciate everybody as always joining in. What else we got here? What's Steve got? How would you compare the Old Forester barrel proof pick to the Jack Daniels? Oh man. So I mean, they're all going to be very similar in proof. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and Ethan or Katie, you guys can kind of chime in on that one as well. I think that was in the mid to upper 130s, but it drank really, really nicely. It was a nice pick. It was nothing like, for me, the early picks of the Old Forester, like some of those single barrels. Man, they were just like straight up gasoline, and the ones more recently have not been like that. So I was leery going in because I didn't want it to be like what I remembered, and it ended up being nothing like that. So I don't know if Ethan or Katie is still in here, but I mean, we think it came out really nice. It was another unanimous one, and it came down to everybody selecting basically the same barrel, so that worked out really well. What else we got here? All right, guys. So, hey, I appreciate Stacy. Good to see you. Thanks. Deathless Dogs. How's it going, fellow Wisconsinites? Cheers, guys. Um, I think that's about it. I think that's kind of a wrap. I think we'll head on over and you guys can check out what's going on with Todd and Andy at 21090. They're doing some awesome things. They're celebrating 5 years tonight. So. As always, you guys know I appreciate you hanging out with me for a little while, and it's always good to get back. It's been a little drought. So cool. The Bourbon Bar. Hey, man, you're a Wisco guy too. All right, cool. You'll have to shoot me an email sometime. We'll kind of get you on the list for meetup stuff this year. I don't know what part of Wisconsin you're from, but anyway, so anyway, all right, guys, I'll be back next Tuesday with something. I don't know what yet. I'm gonna start working on getting a few other guys on. I want to try to talk to the guys at Lucky 7, talk about a little bit of what they've got going on, and maybe even Blom Brothers, maybe get Matt Blom on and talk to them. And as always, if you guys ever have any suggestions or want to see something or reviews or who you want on the channel, you can always send me an email. Happy to entertain that. Think about getting some of these guys on. That's the fun part of that as well. I don't always want to do these just, rambling for an hour or any of that stuff. But anyway, thanks guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you next Tuesday. And remember, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers. Enjoy the rest of your evening and head on over to see Todd and Andy at 21090. Cheers, guys.